Good morning, students. So, today I'm going to take you, I will explain the concept on informed search. If you see the previous class, we covered the types of search algorithms. In that, I already explained that what is meant by uninformed search and informed search. As I said already that uninformed is something a blind search where it doesn't have any information on how to reach and what will be the cost in order to reach to the goal state. Without knowing the information or without having information of the cost, it will try to search the goal state in uninformed search. That's why it is called as blind search. Depth first search or breadth first search are some of the examples of uninformed search. Well, informed search is different than the uninformed search because in informed search it uses the knowledge of the goal state. That means, for example, an agent will have some set of states. If it is moving from initial state to goal state, that is final state, so then in order to reach to the goal state, they have specific values provided to that search algorithm. Like they know that particularly how can you reach to the goal state. That means what are the cost can be allocated for reaching from one state to another state. So based on that, it will be quite easy and quite efficient if you compare with uninformed. That in informed search you can guarantee a best solution with reasonable amount of time. This informed search is also called as heuristic search. Why it is called as heuristic search is because heuristic search, it means it uses a process of heuristic function, the other name of informed search. So now I'll let you know what do you mean by heuristic. Actually, it's a way that uh, that it tries for best solution, and it not always possible to get that means it will not guarantee for the best solution, but it will find a solution with a reasonable amount of time and with reasonable amount of space. What do you mean by heuristic? Heuristic is a process where you won't get a best solution for reaching to the goal state, but it will give you a good solution with reasonable amount of time and with less space or optimal space. That's why it is called as heuristic search, or else it is also called as informed search. So because of this property, it can handle many complex problems which cannot be handled by uninformed search, because uninformed search, as it doesn't have any knowledge, so it is, even for a simple problem also, it is very difficult to find out the solution in uninformed search. Whereas in informed search, as it finds flexible to find the solution, so that what happens here is the complex problem can also be solved in an optimal way. I'm not saying best way, I'm saying in an optimal way. So there are examples of informed search such as best first search and A star search. So today in this class, in this session, I'll be explaining you on the concept of best first search. I'll be explaining that how this best first search works, what are the drawbacks that can be overcome in best first search if you compare with uninformed search. because you people already have an idea on depth first search and breadth first search, because you have already studied that concepts in data structure, so you can revise those concepts so that again you will get more and more clarity on this type of searching mechanism. So this best first search, so today as I said I'll be discussing on all this and I'll let you know that how it works. Still best first search, here it uses which approach? Greedy approach. So this best first search uses greedy approach, and the other one, which is A star search, is also a part of best first search, but it is not a greedy approach. That's why they have divided the name into two different names, that is best first and A star search. If they say best first search, A star and best for both will come, but as I said, greedy means specifically it highlights to one type of searching mechanism. So today, as I said you that uninformed search and informed search, the differences. So if you see uninformed search, we don't have a knowledge. That means we don't know what will be the distance taken to reach the goal state, that is final state. Without having information on the distance to reach to the goal state, it performs search operation. But in informed search, it will give you the information that what will be the cost can be approximately. See, it is not something that whatever it has been said is 100% correct, but there is an estimation. So that estimation will be taken into consideration for performing informed search. So now we'll see about informed search in detail again. So that's why generally this informed search will be used for large search space. What do you mean by large search space? Search space means if the number of states it takes more in the sense it can be something there is no limit, or something it will be in infinite state. Such kind of problems where it requires huge number of states are called as large search space. What they are called as? Large search space. Amount of that means the number of states which it requires more in order to complete, in order to get the goal state. So for that specially it is used informed search algorithm. So it uses the same, I said, heuristic, idea of heuristic. I said you what do you mean by heuristic, okay. So but heuristic search, as I said, informed search is also called as heuristic search. Why it is called as heuristic search is because it uses heuristic function. What it uses? Heuristic function. What do you mean by this function? What the role of this function? The function is used in informed search, okay. This will be just used in informed search, remember. It won't be used in uninformed, but it just used in informed search, and it find the most promising path. It doesn't mean that it's the best path, okay. So what it will take the current state of the agent as an input. Whenever it finds the next state, how it finds is the input will be taken as the current state, and it produces the estimation that from that current state, if I want to go to for example, there are 4 options from the current state to the next state. So it will select the agent, it will select the state where it has, where it is much closer to the current state, okay. With less distance it will select in that case, and here I will give you an example also. So in that way it works, and it tries to find out the goal state. So this method, however, might not be the best solution as I said, but it guarantees good solution in reasonable amount of time. Now heuristic function, how it will give you the estimates of that from one state to another state, what will be the cost, how it will decides. So the decision of going from one state to another state, that means evaluating the particular state, that which state is much closer, is called as evaluation function. Okay, what it is called as evaluation function. So this evaluation function will determines that which state from the current state is nearest to that based on the cost which occurs in it. So that's why heuristic function will be denoted as h of n. So this heuristic function will be denoted as h of n, and it always calculates the cost of optimal path between two states, between a pair of states. So that's why heuristic function value should always be a positive. Okay, it can't be negative. Now, how this heuristic function works? The one thing is what the estimate, and the one is an actual one. So the estimate value which it determines by evaluation function is this one, which will be denoted as h asterisk of n. This is the estimated cost. For example, if from A to B, right, from A to B, if it is reaching from A to B, the estimated cost is 5. Okay, the estimated cost is 5. So that estimated cost will be denoted by this h asterisk of n. Okay, there are various methods by which you can find out the estimated value, that anyhow we'll be seeing with an example also how it calculates. And h of 1 is actual heuristic cost. So for example, the actual cost is 3. So that's why it should satisfy this condition. What is that condition? That h of n should be either less than or equal to the estimated value. That means here 3 is there, so as it is less than that, it can only be up to 5. It should not be 6. As you know, the estimated cost is 5. That means the actual cost should not be more than 5. It can be 5 or it can be less than 5. So it can accept either 3 or 5. So in this way heuristic function works. Now how this internally works? Well, you go from one state to another state in order to find out the goal state. So that's why here it maintains two lists. Here it maintains two lists. The first it maintains as open list, and the another it maintains as closed list. So if you see, closed list means, for example, if it is going from A to B, right, A to B. Now when it goes from A to B, when it reaches to B, now A is already visited, right? A is already visited. So the visited node will become under closed list. So such kind of nodes where it has visited are expanded, you may say, okay, because it is something kind of expansion, because you know, the tree can be in a root child property. Okay, so in that sense you can use the term called expansion. So now A has been expanded to B, so A has been visited, I mean, so this A will come under closed list. And the open list are something where it has not yet been expanded. That means you can use such kind of nodes for further expansion. Okay, for example, from B to C and B to D is also there. So again there is a possibility that the expansion can happen from B to C and B to D. So now until it has not visited to C, so this B will be in open state. So this B will be in open state, C will be in open state, and D will be open state, but A will be in closed state because it has been visited or expanded. So that means in that way it performs. So in this way it performs, and it continues until it reaches to the goal state. So that's why I said there are two methods. So today, as I said, we are learning this method, best first search algorithm, which is through greedy approach. Now how it will select? So now we are particularly on greedy search method. So we'll be discussing much more on the greedy search. So greedy search is actually a combination of DFS and BFS. Okay, you know depth first search and breadth first search, right? So it is a combination of both. Like for example, if I am taking a tree, if I am taking another some okay, so now you can visit from A to B, A to C and A to D. Now A is your initial state, and for every state there is some heuristic value. The heuristic value means estimated value. For example, here it is 3, it is 7 and it is 9, right? Okay. So what happens here is, for example, if it starts from A to B, so heuristic function will select the value which is closest to A. Now from A, which is closer one? Is it B or C or D? It's B. Why? Because the least value it selects. The least value is 3. So now it is selecting the B node. The next node is, so here from A to B, A to C, A to D, initially in the closed list, first A will come, and in the open list B, C and D will come. Now through heuristic function, that means through heuristic value, there are some value associated with each node, that is 3, 7 and 9. So it just selects which is nearest to A, because greedy means which is nearest to the given node, it selects that. So now it is 3, so it selects B. If you go from B, so for example E, F, G are some of the nodes. So now if you see here, it is 4, it is 6 and it is, yeah, you can take as something around 3. Okay. So for now what happens here is, the next node now is B. So now B is in open state, that means it is not yet expanded, A is just expanded. Now in order to expand B, we have to put this list into B. So now A and B are in closed states, and in open states, so now in open states, updated open list is C, D, F, G. Okay. But we are not visiting to C and D, so only what we are visiting, we are considering only F and G. Okay. So now what happens here is, it again checks the distance, heuristic value. So this heuristic function, we suppose here it is 4, here it is 6 and here it is 3. So which is the least one? 3 is the least one. So it selects this one. So now it visits to, how it visits? The path is, it visits as A to B and B to G. So in this way best search will works. And for example, if G is your final states, that is your goal states, here it stops. So that's why you can see here it is a combination of DFS and BFS. Okay. That means, for example, like here it is visiting, like first it is going like a BFS, but here, as you know, it is moving here in the sense like it is visiting all of the nodes of B. but it can be a DFS also. For example, instead of 7, if here for C if the value is 2, now what happens, it visits to A to C, right, and again it visits from the nodes of C. So that's why it takes DFS and BFS both, okay, and operates as a best first search. That's why it is combination of both the ones. So in this way it evaluates the value by taking heuristic value into consideration. Okay, so that's why h of n is what your estimated cost from one node to the goal state. Okay, so based on that, so in the best first search algorithm, so we expand the node which is closest to the goal node, as I said you, and the closest cost is estimated by heuristic function. Heuristic function will determine that. So this g of n value will be determined by h of n value, and h of n value will give you the g of 1 value, which will give you ultimately to f of n. So in that sense it works, and that's why you can call as greedy best first is implemented as priority queue. Okay, it uses queue but it is priority. Priority will be given to the node who have a less cost. Okay, if you see this one here, according to this example, in the priority queue, first the priority has, anyhow it has been given to A because it is the initial state, then the priority should be, has given to B instead of giving to C and D, because B have the less heuristic value, and from B it can visit either E, F, J, anyone, but it has given priority to G because the heuristic value from B to G is only 3 while you compare with the other one. So that's why here it is also based on heuristic, it is based on priority queues. Okay, that's why it is implemented through priority queues. That is it means. Now if you see this one, I just said you, it takes large state space. I use the term called as large state space. So for example, if you see this problem, this puzzle problem which I already explained, so here it is using generally breadth first search, isn't it or not? Because it is going level by level. Breadth first search is something level by level, and depth first search means it is going towards the depth of the given tree. Okay, so here it is going level by level, and if you see how it is reaching from this state to this is goal state. Now for example, if I want to make this problem into best first search, how should I? For example, I know that it is moving, this is the path actually, right? This is the path from where it is moving from here to here. Now this path is what the path, the best path with less comparisons. Okay, this path is something a less comparisons, and you are achieving a final goal without visiting the remaining nodes or remaining combinations. So this is how what the path. Now what we are doing here is, if I want to make this same problem into best first search, I have to take a range, approximate range. So for example, the highlighted part which is there here, which is the highlighted one here, I am taking as approximate heuristics. What I am taking as approximate heuristics, because I already said you here h star of n. H star of n is your estimated cost. So approximate heuristic I have taken here. Okay, approximate heuristic I have taken, and approximate heuristic always will be greater than the actual heuristic value. So the actual heuristic value is this one only. Approximate heuristic is this one. So what happens, because of using approximation on heuristic values, it simply reduces the search. It simply reduces the search combinations, and that can be applicable either in best first or you can use for A star search. So that's why if I use heuristic mechanism, then I can eliminate the most of the combinations. So that's why what we need to find is, we need to evaluate the function That means how should we decide that this is only the range? So that is called as evaluation function. So here it is. So this you can see where I highlighted, this is a state evaluation function will guide search mechanism to whom? To select the range. So it can be it can also be work in multi-agent. Multi-agents means where two more users are being used, like chessboard is there. There also it can be used. Even in also it will be used in reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning, that means feedback based learning. Okay, there also it will be used. So now, what is the how to take information into account? This is an example. You got to know that this is the range by which, because I know the solution, I know the path. Based on that, I have selected this. But in general, how should I take the information that I have to find out? So I have to do evaluation function for each node. So I have to do is evaluation function for each node, so that I should know the approximate heuristic value or approximate heuristic function. Then I have to estimate the desirability of node. That means how can the node visits to the next nodes in order to expand, and it you need to expand the desirable unexpanded node. Okay, in best first search it has to expand which is unexpanded and which are desirable. Desirable means which will give you the result, which have the more probability of getting the result. For example, if you see this example, in this part, if you are achieving the goal state, then this is how the desirable path. Okay. So now heuristic functions will always consider as states with the numbers. So it has to express the quality of the state. It also allows to express problem specific knowledge. Then only you can do this, because this is informed search. Okay. So that's why you have to order the fringe means here what you are doing is, which have less cost, you have to take the first node on that. For example, there are 3 nodes B, C, D, and if the cost of reaching from A to D is less, okay, from A to D is less, so the first node I should put is D. Then if the second is C, for example, which is an optimal, which is that is not very less or that is not very much more, then I should put C on that, below that, and again I should put B ultimately lastly. So in that way, decreasing order of desirability. That means which is desirable first, D is desirable first, so that should be put first. So that decreasing order of desirability should happen. Fringe means here getting the results with less amount of cost. So now there is another example, practical example. If you see here, there is a path here, again Romanian path here. This path will be helpful to find out the problem in best first search mechanism. For example, I already said you that we are reaching from Arad to Bucharest. This is how the goal state is your Bucharest. So now how should we reach? We need to find out the good path. I am not saying the best path, right? Because it doesn't guarantee best path, but it tries to give you good path which have reasonable measures. That means which have optimal, it's not optimal exactly, it is something like it will be great, it will be a good one while you compare with the uninformed search. So now for example, in this path there are some distances which have been given already here. Now if you see this one, this is your aerial distance, straight line distance to Bucharest. Okay. So here it is straight line distance has been given. For example, from Arad to Bucharest, so Bucharest is your destination. So if you see 366 is your straight line distance and Bucharest is 0. Why it is 0? Because that is only your destination. Similarly, from multiple cities you are reaching to the destination Bucharest. by so and so straight line distance. So now how it will do here is, first if you consider Sibiu to Bucharest, the aerial distance, the straight line distance is 253 kilometers. Let us, I am using the term unit as kilometers. So it is using 253 kilometers from Sibiu to Bucharest, right? And if I am reaching from Bucharest to, what is that? Yeah, Timisoara. So the aerial distance or straight line distance is 329 kilometers. Similarly, if I am reaching from Zerint to Bucharest, it is around 374 kilometers. Okay, so that is 374 kilometers. So now, greedy best first search. First thing is what we have to do is we have to evaluate. We have to perform evaluation function on each node. So I said you that we have to find out this path. What is that? H asterisk of n, which is an estimated cost. So here I am finding that here I am finding in the way H straight line distance, HSLD means straight line distance from one location n to Bucharest. Bucharest is final one, but n is, why it is I am using n? Because it can be from any city or it can be from any location. That's why I am using HSLD, straight line distance from that location n. Now the greedy best first search expand the node that appears to have shortest path to goal. As I said you that greedy best first search always tries to reach to the goal which have shortest path. Okay, so that's why it appears to shortest. So that means the amount of distance, so the distance, if it is less, it will select that path. So now how the idea is, we need to we have to take that such nodes where we can reach the path to the goal state in a shorter distance. It is something like a depth first search, but here it is guided one. It is, why it is guided? Because it has an information on domain, it has an information on the cost, but DFS doesn't have that kind of information. Simply it goes to the depth. Okay, that's the difference between depth first search and greedy best first search. Also the difference here is, along with depth first search, it uses the property of breadth first search as well. So what it uses is breadth first search, it uses depth first search, and also it uses the domain knowledge information. So all these three things will come under into a single thing, that is best first search, that is greedy best first search. Now again this is an example. So here if you see, initially if I am reaching I need to reach from this location. I need to reach from Arad to Bucharest. This is my destination. So the aerial distance here, it is given as 366 kilometers, right? So if you see now, from Arad there are three locations: Sibiu, Timisoara and Zerint. So what is it is like, it give you a three path, but from Sibiu if you see, it is 253 kilometers. Okay, this is heuristic value Sibiu, and from Timisoara it is 329, and from Zerint, because why it is moving to three location only, if you see this, Arad to Zerint, Arad to Timisoara and Arad to Sibiu, three locations it can visit. So as I said you that it is a combination of BFS and DFS, so it is using first like a BFS, it behaving like a BFS first. So now if you go with Zerint, you can check here, it is getting 374 kilometers. I mean I am using kilometers here, it can be miles also. So the distance is 374. So now the thing is that what is the closed state now? What is expanded? Arad is expanded. So the closed state here it is as are out. What is open? These three are in open state. Now, if you see the value, heuristic value, which is having the less value, CBU. So, now it starts visiting from CBU, and if you see in from CBU again, there are 4 locations. Okay. So, if you see this one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So, what is this? So, the one is already this one. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is your 4. From here to here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, now we have to see the distances. If you see from their distances, so you will get this distance from here, and it will select the least distances from this location. Okay, from Fagares. So, from Fagares again it can reach either to same Sibiu, or else it finally reaches to Bucharest. So, if you go to Sibiu, again it will be in something like going backward in direction, but you have to go in an incremental way. So, you are using Bucharest because the value here it is less. So, in that way this is the path. What is the path? Arad, Sibiu, Fagares, Bucharest. So, this is the path by which it is visiting, or it is following the greedy best first search. Now, the question is it optimal? Because if you see, optimal means here, and along with the selection of the proper goal state, it has also to be decided that the amount of cost, that means the amount of distance which is requiring, should be less. Okay. Of course, if you compare greedy best first search with the previous uninformed search, that greedy best first search is better than the previous search mechanism. But the question here is it optimal, or are we ignoring something? Now we have to see what are we ignoring things. The first thing here is, if you go to the property of greedy best first search, the first thing, is it complete? No. Why it is incomplete? Because, for example, if you go from this location, to this location, what happens? Lassi to Nemt, again Nemt to Lassi, or Lassi to Nemt. So, it stuck in a loop, continuous loop, infinite loops. You won't get the solution here. That means it is in all aspects, it will not give you complete solution. The first drawback of greedy best first search. Advantage, you know that it is good, better than the DFS and BFS, because it has a domain knowledge. But it is, if you come with the drawbacks, it will not give you a complete solution in all the aspects. All the aspects, why I am using, because the example I have given, that sometimes it will stuck in a loop which is infinite loop. So, but at some moment of time it will give you a complete state when finite space is there, and that too there should not be any repeated state. But here repeated state is there, right? Why? Because here if you see Sibiu is there, here Sibiu is there, again Sibiu, here also Sibiu is there, here also Sibiu. So, repeated state is there here, right? So, repeated state, so if repeated states are eliminated, and if there are finite number of states, or there are finite spaces there, then it can give you a complete solution. But in other way it won't be a complete. Now, let's come to see the next property, that is time. So, the time complexity is for greedy best first search is order of b to the power of m. What is b here? This b means the branching factor for the search tree, maximum branching factor. Okay, how many branches it can have. Also, m denotes for maximum depth of the state space. Depth of the state space means, because as I said that greedy best first search can have a property of breadth first search as well as depth first search. So it can visit to maximum depth. If suppose the depth is not in a finite one, if it is an infinite state, that means the time complex, in the worst case I am saying, in worst case the depth can be in infinite way. So that's why the amount of time is also in worst case, generally we have to consider worst case only, it will be more. So the time is also one of the problem here. So but a good heuristic can have dramatic improvement. How? That for example, if I am using like depth first search, if we have reduced branching, okay, the branch nodes are less, then it will be a good heuristic approach. If you go with the space, the space complexity is also order of b to the power of m. For example, if the depth is also in worst case is infinity, that means the space is also in worst case in will be in infinity. That means the space also it takes more and more if the space, if the states are in infinite state, that means continuously repeating. So that's why we have to fix such kind of problem. How can we fix this? We are fixing this problem with the next approach, that is A star search, which is the next search. Okay. So that's why greedy best first search is not that much efficient as you compare with the next search, that is A star search, because in A star search you can avoid such kind of problems. Okay. So by this I conclude this session, and in the next session, in the upcoming session, I will be explaining you on the concept of A star search. But today if I summarize this class, what we have studied here is, we have studied that first thing what we have studied is, we have studied that categories of search, that is uninformed and informed search. What are the drawbacks of uninformed search, what is uninformed search, and also we discussed what is informed search, what are the advantages of informed search, what it is for, and informed search, why it is called as heuristic search, because it uses heuristic function. What is heuristic function also we discussed, and in heuristic function we have discussed that what is an estimated cost and what is an actual cost, and we have studied that how the list can be divided into two lists, that is open list and closed list. Okay. And in that one we have seen about greedy search only in this session, in this class, and I said you that greedy search is a combination of DFS and BFS both, and here it is an example of BFS. But now if I want to make as a best first search, so this is what my the perfect path by which I can reach to my goal state. But heuristic is something, here this is my range where I can use search operation through evaluation function. I need to decide the heuristic the range of heuristic function. Okay. And what we have discussed, that what are the ideas which we have to do for finding the evaluation function. Okay. And also how the things has to be arranged in decreasing order, and by taking another example here. Okay. So this is what an example, in order to get the desired solution by using some of the values over there. Okay. So this is what we discuss, and what are the problems also we have discussed, why it is giving why the space complexity in worst case is also the drawback is there for space complexity as well as for time complexity, the completeness is also not there here in all aspects. Okay, so this is the problem, and we have to fix these problems through the next approach, A star search. Thank you.